So this is about homeschooling and depression, because last year when I was, over the past year and other times when I've been kind of in the midst of depression and anxiety and overwhelm, homeschooling's been really hard, and I have almost quit several times. And there's some days I did quit, as in we just didn't do it. Don't worry if you're watching this government, we got in all 180 days, so thanks. Yes, I started looking for other homeschoolers that struggled with depression, and I did find several blogs and a couple wonderful podcasts, and I do think that it's probably pretty prevalent. It's a very isolating, thankless job, albeit beneficial and rewarding, but hard. And, I could go days sometimes without talking to any adults except for my husband, but during the day, not having any interaction with other adults, not having anyone ask me, how are you? Or show me, interest as a person. And so I think if you're already prone, to depression, or you have some things going on in your body, or you're already struggling with depression, that homeschooling can make it even harder. Now, I've stuck with homeschooling because it was years before I even had kids that the Lord put it in my heart and told me to do it. And for me personally, I feel like I'm supposed to do that, and it's the best way for me to disciple my kids. That's just what I feel for our dynamics. Everyone is different. And so in the moments when I think that if I didn't homeschool, my mental health would be great, I remember that there's other moms that struggle, and that we all struggle, and all kinds of people that make all different kinds of school choices and career choices struggle with depression. And I also remember that it was before I even had any children that the Lord laid homeschooling on my heart, before I even knew their names or temperaments or personalities, or how our personalities would clash, or that one of my kids would have sensory processing disorder and that the other ones would be highly sensitive temperaments. Before I knew any of that, before that was my reality in my day-to-day, and before that made life really hard, God knew all that. God has seen into present day and into my future. And back when He called me, He already knew all of this, and He knew my kids. And so I just try to hold on to that He is sovereign, and He is good and loving, and that I need to be faithful to do what He's called me to do for as long as He's called me to do it. But some things that have helped me in just homeschooling and struggling with depression and anxiety is just to find a community of other moms. And if you open up about your mental health struggles with other friends and other homeschoolers, I bet you will find some that also struggle. And I think a lot of mental health is that our struggles with mental health, at least me, is I can get so inward focused and introspective. And if I have someone else I'm going through with it, and I can encourage that person and tell truth to that person, then it reminds me of the truth that I should also believe, even if it's hard. And, there's lots of homeschooling communities and co-ops. Just don't do it alone. Don't sit home all day, every day, and just not have interaction and not be open and transparent. Get help from your homeschool community. Find a homeschool community. Get help from your local church. Just don't suffer alone in silence. You are a person, too. We follow the Charlotte Mason method. And she says, children are persons. And then, a lot of the moms remind each other, moms are persons too. And you have to take care of yourself. Sorry, my cat is not just going to walk right in front of the video. And another wonderful thing about Charlotte Mason is she has taught us in the Great Recognition. So if you're a homeschooling mom, look up Charlotte Mason and the Great Recognition. She has taught us that God, in His amazing divine wisdom, has given knowledge to all sorts of people in all different fields of discovery and, discovery and fields of learning and education, and without regard to whether those people are believers in Jesus or not. It's kind of like the idea that if all truth is God's truth, if it is indeed true. And I add that little part to the end. And so for me, just having to realize that God has blessed some people with the ability to really understand the brain, or functional medicine doctors to really understand the body and how it all works together. And just recognizing that God has put people on this planet that are very knowledgeable in what they do, and understanding emotions and behavior of our kids and of us, and how the brain affects our emotions, and how that affects our walk with God and our overall mental health, and how it just all works together. And there's books you can read too. So just encourage you to get help from your community and from friends and from your church, and to also find experts that you can glean from, and get professional help if you need it. And yeah, so homeschooling and depression, it happens. Definitely homeschooling and anxiety and overwhelm for sure happens a lot. And so anyway, I would love to tell you more about exactly what I have done to change in my diet and my lifestyle and the supplements that I'm on. And I will link to some other videos where you can learn more about that. But please, I would love to talk to you if this is a struggle for you too, and not just a homeschooling mom, but stay-at-home moms, or any mom, or really anyone. I would love to talk to you more and share what has helped me. So thanks for listening.